Well, since I'm putting this collar back on here that holds on the blade guard, somehow I managed to misplace a little quarter 20 set screw. So I went down to the hardware store and they had stainless ones. So I went ahead and got those, and I dipped each one with a little bit of grease, and I smeared just a little bit of grease where this collar goes on here, just to keep the corrosion down. It's not necessary, came apart easily anyway, but a little bit of grease will make sure that when I take this apart next time it'll be easy. I wanted to de-rust and paint this blade guard, but I don't have time right now, so I will take it apart later, and this will make it real easy. Well, and the biggest piece of nonsense engineering that ever came down the pike, Bachtold decided to make this new style blade guard rotate on the shaft. There's no reason for it to do it, but they did it anyway, and they put a grease fitting on here. What I'm going to do is just pack some grease in there when I assemble it, and we'll worry about the grease fitting later. No one knows why in the world a blade guard needs to rotate. I can't figure that it serves any purpose at all. The old style, it's got a fixed blade guard and it works just fine. But it's just something else to rattle and make noise. But anyway, we'll lubricate it, put it back together like they did. It's nice of them to make a grease groove inside the collar that goes around the shaft, but all the weight is held on the top of this collar here, and that thing just rotates on that collar, and they got no provision to lubricate that at all. It's just steel on steel, which will work for a long time, but I'm putting some grease in there anyway. Okay, you prop the mower up with a 2x4 like this, and use it as a stop to keep the blade from turning. Remember, it's a reverse nut, so it's going to turn that direction clockwise. And so when you put the impact wrench on there, or the whatever wrench you're using, and tighten it left-hand thread, it's going to push the blade against that 2x4 and stop the blade from moving so that you can get it good and tight. There you can see the 2x4 is acting as a prop to hold up the mower by jamming it under the blade guard, and it's also acting as a stop to keep the blade, to keep the blade from turning. When you tighten the nut, it's going to try to go that way, but it can't go anywhere because it's wedged in there. And so it's doing double duty. Well, it seemed like we were going to get this collar to come down over this washer, but you can't do it. You've got to keep the collar pushed up as high as you can in order to keep the this rotating guard from hitting the blade. And when you put that collar on, make sure you keep this reveal here the same all the way around. If it's high on one side and low on the other, then this whole thing will be cocked at an angle, and it can drag on the blade or get in the way. So keep it level and push it up as high as you can so that it's still on the part of the tube that it's supposed to rotate on. Don't push it up too high, or it won't be bearing on there anymore. Anyway, this is the way I've got it, and get that collar good and secure. You don't want that thing to slip down, or the blade guard can get low enough to contact the blade, and then you'll have sparks and set something on fire and dull your blade for sure. So there you go. Get those set screws good and tight. Okay, so here we are. Thing spins freely and quietly. Doesn't hit the stupid rotating guard. Rotating guard turns around. It's got a couple of bent teeth on it that hit the guard back there, but who cares? So anyway, I got to get a cotter key in this top pulley, and we'll be back in business.